Alright, so I would have never thought I would have to make another video talking about Funko Pops. I mean, the last time I talked about them, it was a long time ago. This was like when my channel, first started in a way. And I think it was about like the story. It was about like this couple where the husband was buying a whole ton of Funko Pops. Like he was buying so many he couldn't catch up with rent, and got in the way of his marriage a little bit. And his wife pretty much done him with a divorce. So yeah, I mean, it's funny when you look through the whole thing, but unfortunately a lot of people say that the story is not really true and this was just something that was made up. But today we're not talking about that. No, we're talking about something a little different. But before we get to that, are you guys excited for the new Captain America movie? I know I am. I mean, it's been like a long anticipated film for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, this movie has been in development for quite a while now. I mean, originally it was called Captain America New World Order. Now it's called, Captain America Brave New World. Obviously, the setbacks and a lot of the reshoots and all that, they're not like as atrocious as like Blade, because that I don't even know I don't know if they even found a script yet. That's been in development hell for a long time at Marvel Studios. But when it comes to this movie, there's actually one particular character that we've been anticipating for a very, very long time. And that character is the leader. And if you don't know who that is, basically he's kind of technically a Hulk villain per se. Basically he's the green guy with the big ginormous cranium. He has like a big brain pretty much. And like I said, his skin's all green and all that. When we saw him for the first time, it was way back in the Incredible Hulk, and I believe that's supposed to be like the second film in the MCU, with the first one being Iron Man, obviously, the first Iron Man. Obviously it was teased. Obviously we didn't really like saw him. I mean, I'm not gonna just sit down and explain to you the whole movie, because mind you, I got some I got some serious things I gotta talk about today, right? So you get the idea, right? It's a character where it felt like a missed opportunity because it was such a long time ago. So the fact that we're finally gonna see this character in motion is great. So a Funko Pop figure of Leader was revealed, and people are not happy, and it's not hard to see why. I mean, you look at it and it just looks like your normal Joe Schmo, but like his skin is just green. It literally just looks like a normal dude, and like no big brain, no anything like that. And now don't get me wrong, not every single character in the MCU has to be comic book accurate. I'm in fact, it's a little better if they don't do that. I under from my understanding, yeah, for the past couple of films they've been trying to sort of like mimic and make them look like the comic books and all that. At least they're subtle about it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the big giant brain thing, obviously, that's like a huge, like, that's one of his biggest traits, within his design. That's how you know who he is. So obviously, a lot of people are not very happy that obviously the way that the figure is depicting the character, it obviously makes it seem like he's not going to have the big giant brain at all. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a little mixed on this too. I understand, right? I mean, it's not accurate in the slightest, But then again, people are jumping like to conclusion super fast. I mean, don't get me wrong. One of the things about this movie, and you know what, I'm gonna say this right now. Do you people want this movie to fail? Because I have seen like endless articles and rants about how this movie is gonna flop, and it's like it's already anticipating to be one of the worst MCU films. I mean, you'd be surprised what I've seen online. It's ridiculous. Remember that weird Vanity article that was pretty much trashing on Marvel, but a good portion of the information wasn't even remotely true. But for some odd reason, I still see people in the comments being like, "Oh, it's fake." I mean, I don't care about the MCU. They fell off. And I'm like, "Oh, bro, I'm tired of this conversation." So I kind of wonder if this sort of contributes to this figure as well. Don't get me wrong, when I was looking it up, it didn't seem like it was fake for the most part. It was from, official sources. So it wasn't like this was something fake that somebody made up. It seems real for the most part. But then again, we all know how Funko Pops work. I mean, they're small, they're meant to look kind of cute. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, just maybe, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe in this instance they just didn't get the look right, but that can't be true because there's definitely been a couple of Funko Pops that definitely kind of capture like the character's likeness and all that in a very simplified way, obviously, not super detailed, but you get the idea. So it makes you kind of wonder, it makes you want to think. It's like, wait a minute, if this is really how he's going to look, that's kind of unfortunate. They kind of built that up for a long time. Even in the scene back in the Incredible Hulk, you got some of that gamma shit falling on the guy's head, and you can see it kind of growing. and he's smiling too. He's like, so I'm like, ooh. I remember that being super creepy, seeing that for the first time, but still, you know. But obviously, I wasn't like into the comics too much at the time. You know, I was just really into just the movies and the toys. But you get the idea. It's good to finally see this character come back, but doesn't really seem so promising right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did see him in the trailers, but he's mostly in the shadows. You know, it's like you don't see his face. We only see like his back half, and it's hard to tell how he looks really. It looks like once we see the movie, they're gonna like hype up how he looks, which I'm not sure how that's gonna go, because we're already getting like the hype for that big fight with Red Hulk. That's gonna be fantastic. Come on now. How are you guys not excited for this movie? I mean, I get it. This is the same Wilson Captain America. I mean, Steve Rogers is gone. I put that in air quotes because technically he's an old man. He's not dead, but well, I mean, listen, we don't know. It depends on how far this movie is, you know, timeline wise, if you get my drift. So here's my take with the character, right? Now, just throwing some theories out there. Maybe, just maybe, there's a possibility that maybe we might get like a flashback scene where we see like the leader, like how he starts to change a little bit, and then maybe later on he'll have that ginormous brain like how he's supposed to. Of course, maybe this could be a situation where Funko Pop, you know, the Funko Pops, you know, got it wrong. Maybe this is not the correct design. Could be based off of like maybe concept art. You never know. That definitely has happened a lot, and that happens to all toy lines in general. Hasbro's done figures based off of concept art. Even DC Multiverse to a certain extent, maybe not by much. You know, listen, well, whatever you can do to make some money, right? So that's what I'm trying to get at. Now, here's the biggest thing that contradicts the whole thing, right? There's articles with the actor talking about how he doesn't want CGI, he wants practical effects for his big ginormous brain. So, okay, if he's talking about how that's what he wants for the character, not only is that great dedication that he wants to look just like the character, I mean, he pretty much implies too that, you know, he's not willing to do it, you know, unless it's practical effects, you know, and that makes perfect sense. Why would you want a giant CGI brain? You know what I mean? That's just kind of, we don't need CGI for stuff like that, you know, but I get it. Practical effects is expensive, but come on, this is Marvel Studios, and of course, you got Disney, what, can I curse? Am I allowed to curse? Even though I'm talking about toys? I don't know. Listen, the cock-sucking kings of Disney, of course, they have the money, you know. I mean, look, if they could pull out so many ridiculous, like, live-action Disney films, I'm pretty sure they can lend in some money to help this project and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie comes out in theaters in February, but still. So, who knows? It can go either way, folks. To me, I think we will see how he is in the film properly. You know, I think maybe this Funko Pop situation, who knows? Maybe it's just been blown out of proportion. Maybe I'm correct. Maybe there will be a scene where maybe he doesn't look like that yet. And even then, here's what I'm scared of. What if the movie's really good, but it just so happens that leader doesn't look like how he's supposed to? I mean, you're probably going to still get people being ungrateful and complaining. I'm just going to put it out there. So I'm sorry. Hot takes today. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, I haven't talked about Funko Pops in a while. Finally, I'm talking about, you know, the MCU a little bit on my channel. I try to introduce that a little bit on here. You know, interesting. So without further ado, that's about it for today, folks. You know, apologize for the setup. Obviously, I'm still moving. You know, I'm dressed up. You know, don't worry about what I'm wearing. You know, even though yeah. Anyway, that's about it for now. You know, so thank you guys for watching. As always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and that's about it. So see ya.